step for the NPP, especially following the catastrophic performance in the 2024 elections. While some believe that his victory puts the NPP ahead of their rivals, others see his victory as a stamp of another defeat. What is, however, important is how the NPP can unite and reconcile the support base of other candidates to wage a campaign that propels them to victory is what should be the concern of the party bigwigs. We have in the studio Kamaldeen Abdullahi, Deputy National Communications Director for the NPP, in the studios with us this morning. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Jay, for having me.
Yes, it was a wonderful election. Like Honorable Joe Wise described it, a friendly match. So there wasn't much to do. It wasn't like any so 7 p.m., 7 a.m. the polls opened, 2 p.m. we closed. By 6, we found out who our flag bearer was. How was the whole experience for you, like from the campaigning and everything to this point?
I must say a very good morning to you, good morning to your cherished viewers, and also good morning to the entire executives of the New Patriotic Party, from the polling station to the electoral area coordinators, to the constituency level, to the regional level, to the national level, and of course, I must say a very big thank you and good morning to our Council of Elders of the party. I should also be mentioning the Presidential Election Committee for doing a yeoman's job. They ensured that no one was shortchanged. Every single person who was a stakeholder in the exercise, indeed, at the end of the day, was satisfied. So that said, the ultimate thanks goes to the Almighty God, who saw to it that we had a peaceful election. And I believe that just the outcome of the election alone is a complete reconciliatory move. Okay? The process was fair. We've all agreed and accepted to it. Again, the tail end of it, we have all held it in high esteem. Whoever has emerged as a winner, all stakeholders say we are one. There has not been an election. Like you rightly put it, Honorable Joe Wise said it was a friendly encounter, a friendly relationship. You see, this is not the first time the New Patriotic Party is holding such an exercise. We were adored in 1992, and from 1992, we had our congresses till where we are today. Edubwahi was elected in the first conference or congress that we had, followed by 1996, we got President John Ajikun Kufuor elected as our flag bearer. Of course, we repeated him again in 1998 in Sunyani. And then, of course, after that, we got somewhere in 2004. Of course, we didn't have a conference in 2000 because he was a certain president when he won in 2000. And by 2007 in Legon, it was a hotly contested, if you like,
so many candidates.
So many, about 17 people contested. And of course, all the apparatchiks, all the big guys in the party you could think of, contested to become flag bearers. Hotly contested, like I rightly said. But of course, it didn't break the party. At the end of the day, Nanado emerged. And of course, we went into the election in 2008, we lost. Went again to primaries, somewhere 2010 thereabout. By 2012, we had another election, we lost. And by 2016, we went back again. We had in 2014 a primary, which Nanado came back again. So I'm trying to say that there's a history to this presidential primaries in our party. And anybody who sits back and think that the exercise will break the party, then that person has not followed the history of this party. Look, in 1998, Sunyani was so hot that people thought that was the end of the party. But after we finished, we came together and won power in 2000. You understand? So I am completely sure and really, should I say, I have the belief that by the grace of God, we are going to come together. We're going to hold on to each other. We're going to make this party great or greater than where it is, as it were. So that said, I will say that we thank God for such an exercise. We thank God that nothing untoward happened. We didn't hear someone insulting anyone on the D-Day. We didn't hear someone fighting anyone on the D-Day. All agents satisfied whatever we did. And of course, at the end of the day, we have our flag bearer down, who is in the person of Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawia. I must say congratulations to him. I was with him yesterday and, of course, congratulated him. I believe many stalwarts of the party were also with him to congratulate him, as it were. Our prayer is that he holds the fort for us, he holds the flag for us, and, of course, going into 2028, without a doubt, should we put ourselves together and get our acts together, trust me, the NDC will be a small party to defeat. Trust me.
So it's like looking at your history from 1992, you said. Or
Yeah,
was it
92.
1996?
We started 92.
92, yeah. Till now, it's like you've been able to run all these things till now. So what do you have? So for those who have that fear, that like, oh, now that this candidate has won and these other people didn't win, the party is now going to be divided. How is the party planning to unite moving forward so that everybody comes under the same umbrella? Are there any fears like that even? Are there any fears like
I'm
that?
sure your cameras captured what happened at the headquarters immediately after the election, when the the results were being declared. All 5 contestants in that election, okay, spoke, including the winner. The 4 who actually did not or could not make it spoke. Kennedy Ohene Japan spoke. Of course, Kobne Japan spoke. Educhum spoke. And of course, Dr. Brian Champon also spoke. And you heard their reconciliatory messages that they gave. I believe that's the starting point. And like I said earlier on, we're going to get every single person involved. For politics, it's a competitive act. It's a competitive enterprise. Jay, you and I can be very nice now. Let's say we're going to have a position contested for in GBC. Then you stand on the other side and I stand on the other side. There's no way we are going to come out to say good things about each other. But of course, in doing so, you ought to be measured.
Because we both want to win. So
exactly.
you have to be measured in how we
do
the
somebody
campaign.
will emerge. And when the person emerges, you come back together again. That your relationship will start off again. That is why after the election, I saw a hearty call from Brian Achampon to Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. I saw a hearty call from Kobna Ojapon to him, also to Ken Ojapon to him. All of them called to congratulate him. And they had a chit-chat, laughing over the phone and all that. That is politics for you. I mean, if you go international, you hear all manner of comments that some people make. Let's use the US, for example. It doesn't mean they are at each other's throat. That is sometimes the way politics goes. So I think that based on all these things, we are going to put everything behind us and practically put on the table how to reorganize the party from the base. You realize that we had our presidential fest.
Yeah.
Now, what it is that we are now going to reorganize the base, which is the polling station, because their mandate would have to end somewhere next month, as it were, in March. Now, if that ends, it means that the party has a duty to organize base elections, to organize polling station executive election, and also organize the electoral area coordinators election, and of course, to constituency, to region, then we can build the party again. I believe the calendar will come up. The General Secretary will have to work on that, and then the National Executive will cement
know the way forward,
and then we know the way forward, as it were. So I believe that all these things behind us, we're going to build a party, and we're going to come together and see how this party is going to be formidable into 2028.
For supporters of a candidate who didn't win, who are still perhaps disgruntled, what message do you have for them? Like, now is the time for you to unite and come behind the candidate that was chosen, so you can all move forward as a party.
Yes, I think, like I said, all the various candidates spoke and appealed to their supporters. And I would also admonish them. Look, each and every one is a member of the New Patriotic Party first and foremost. Now, this exercise is over. Let's come together, get ourselves involved, and of course, build this party, as it were. So my appeal to, look, those who won and those who, of course, think that our candidate didn't win, they should know that we have one party, which party we all belong to. We must come together and build this party. And of course, instill discipline in this party. It is my position that after this exercise we are coming up, anybody who comes out to wash the dirty linens of this party outside must be sacked. It's my position. If I have my own way, anyone, whether you are a founding member, whether you are an elder, whether you are what, if there is an advice you are supposed to give and you have a platform, a forum within to give that advice, and you do not give it, then go against Article 4 or Article 3 of our party, which says you should guide against the party's reputation. Then speak untoward in the media against the party. Trust me, you should be sacked. That is my position. You should be completely written to by the General Secretary and then shown the exit in the party. It is not an individual who makes a party. It is a collective that makes a party. So if our founding members or an elder or whoever,
or disgruntled member,
or anybody, look, anyone, look, let me tell you, so long as there's a bad note, okay, you can never achieve the ultimate. And who becomes a bad note? Is either self-inflicted, okay, or you think that you would have to find a way and form cabal with some people to fight your own party. And as I'm saying that, look, we are all staying put to ensuring that this party is stronger. And even me, if I should come out and say anything untoward, which I had a forum to speak in there, and I am not actually doing that, which goes inimical to the party, I should be sacked from this party immediately. Immediately. Mm-hmm. And that's the way we should instill discipline in this party going forward.
Because I remember Dr. Frimpong Boateng's comments earlier before the elections came in about the previous elections and what. So I get the sentiment there. But just before we delve into more of this issue, we have the former president's speech at the NPP headquarters once the results were declared. We'll take that video and return.
But victory tonight is only the beginning. The task before us is to turn this momentum into a movement. We must bring everyone together. The breakdown of the results of the election dictate this necessity. We now have the longest runway in our party's history to prepare for a general election. Let us use it well. This year is for healing wounds, reorganizing our structures, and strengthening our parliamentary front line, especially if we choose to elect parliamentary candidates in constituencies we do not have MPs. With the flag bearer chosen, let us end the era of factions. From constituency to region to national office, our purpose is singular. Elect officers who will serve the party's interests, support our candidate, and help secure victory in 2028. Nothing more, nothing less. To our presidential candidate, lead with a big heart, lead with decisiveness, lead with clarity of purpose, lead with all of us behind you. Stretch out your hand to all who stood in this race. And to those who did not prevail, stand tall in loyalty. In our tradition, true loyalty is proven, not in victory, but how we respond to defeat.
Former president there, Nana Akufo-Addo. It's, listening to him, I realize he's echoing a lot of things.
Exactly what I said.
The factions, they should break down all those factions, everybody should come together so the party can move forward. So come 2028, you get to wrestle power from the NDC. That's something you've been touting for since we started this conversation. Based on that, I just want us to take the flag bearer's remarks right now, then we come back to the studio.
After competition comes cooperation, and our expectation that all party members will apply themselves to this principle. It cannot be the case that one's support for the party is maintained only when those we support lead. I want to stand on this energy to make a passionate appeal to all members of the great NPP to let go of whatever reservations they have and come together. We need every idea, every voice, and every piece of advice to help us preserve and project a proud tradition bequeathed to us by our forebears. My election communicates a broad-based appeal across the party, and I need to draw directly on that capital to unite the party as one of the crucial steps to winning power in 2028. I call on all to join in this bounden duty. After all, as the Akans say, prayer se uyi bako ana ebu ukaboma emu. To the millions of our supporters and sympathizers nationwide, I know some of you refrained from voting in the last election because you were unhappy with several issues. We have started the process of reform. I assure you, Mahmoud Bawumia as flag bearer will do everything to ensure that the NPP listens more to you, is more mindful of your views, and is more reflective of your desires.
That's the flag bearer for the NPP, the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, coming back to face the NDC come the 2028 elections, and the CPP, whoever it is, wants to come facing, and they can't do that. I've been speaking with Kamal Dean Abdullah, who is the Deputy National Communications Director for the NPP, and we are discussing the NPP's next move, unity and reconciliation. So the flag bearer says, after competition comes cooperation. What would you say are his top priorities now, aside perhaps uniting everyone so that they can move forward?
Now, he actually expounds what his priorities are. First and foremost is to unite the party. And again, he has made an appeal to us, like you rightly said, after competition comes cooperation. And he said that, look, yes, in 2024 elections, there were some members who thought that they were not happy. And we had apathy affecting us. That is an indicator that we actually need to work on. And I am happy that he's actually singled that out and appealed to all party people. Let's put what has passed to belong to the past. And let's come together and listen to each other. And that's the core aspect of his speech that I like. Listen to each other. Because the complaint might be, yes, I am in Shaman. I am in maybe, say, Takwan Swayensu, or I am in Pristia Honi Valley. But I'm trying to push this idea for the party to benefit, and nobody is listening to me. The flag bearer of the party and the leader of the party now says that, look, let's listen to this party people. Let's get them on board. Every idea counts. And I believe if we're able to put mechanisms in place to ensure that those who were disillusioned, who felt laid back because I wasn't listened to, would come on board. And of course, take their information, take their ideas, bring that to the table, sieve everything, and then we all come into a commonality and pick one to move without a doubt. When it comes to numbers, look, let me tell you, statistically, when it comes to numbers of core support base of party, the NPP is ahead of the NDC. It's a fact. And you can let any pollster, any researcher do the research. When you take numbers, all the 16 regions that we're going to deal with core party support base, the NPP has more numbers than the NDC. But you see, what causes us to go down has to do with apathy within.
Is that the only thing, though?
Yes, apathy.
Because if you look at the current parliament, for instance,
Yeah.
the overwhelming majority the NDC has, it looks like it goes beyond that. A lot of people are citing how happy they were during your last term, the fact that the economic mismanagement,
No,
you
but
kept saying
those are
the
factors that cause
COVID,
apathy.
Ukraine.
I'm saying those are factors that cause apathy. These are all factors causing apathy. The main thing
because,
is that,
like,
yes.
if it's only apathy and then some people didn't go to the polls, for instance,
Yes.
and your fan base is more than the NDC, I don't know. I don't think the
Let me give you an
results
example.
reflect that.
Sunyani West. Sorry, Sunyani East, for instance, and Sunyani West. Who would have thought that NPP will lose? There's no way. I'm giving you a typical example.
Okay.
The constituency J.H. Mensah of blessed memory belongs to, and it's rooted in NPP. Sunyani, who would have thought that the NPP will lose? Look at the presidential votes and look at the parliamentary votes. So it means that there are some difficulties within. That's why I said Pristia, Honi Valley, other constituencies, they may have problems. But who listened to them? Did we address those issues? That means there's work to do. To be done. So I think that when the flag bearer says that, look, we need to work on our core base, I could not have agreed with him the more. Because that is basically the panacea to getting this party being formidable going into 2028, which we are not going to leave any stone unturned. It boils down again to the point I made earlier on, discipline. Where there is discipline, there will be listenership. There will be people listening. But where there's no discipline, okay, and people throw their hands in despair and say all manner of things in the media, and nobody is actually punishing them, then it means that that party will not be strong. So I'm saying that in as much as we are going to make efforts to listen to people, we must strengthen also the discipline bit of this party. And I'm reiterating this again. Me, left to me alone, if I have the pen to write, to sack whoever, anybody, including my good self, who makes a comment on media or in the media against the party baselessly must be sacked immediately.
But it's like I'm listening to you, and I realize that a lot of people have raised concerns of the fact that you, like you rightly said, you started at the top. You are doing the presidential primaries first before you start looking at everything else. What do you have to say for those who have the concern that maybe perhaps you should have fixed that, perhaps the foundation, then you rise all the way to the top? Because maybe aside voter apathy, there were a lot of things that were wrong with the party internally that led to the loss in the previous election. So like we fixed that, and then we come to the presidential. But starting from the presidential before you go down,
I am always of the view that you can't continue to do one thing or the same thing different times and expect different results. I am of that view. So I belong to the school of thought which says that once there's dynamism, we must also change our way of doing things a bit, provided it's within the legal framework of the party. So going up and coming down, for me, actually was a good gesture.
It was?
It was new. It was a novelty to us. However, it has helped us. Look at how the presidential primaries ended. Peacefully. Everybody accepting. But prior to the election, the comments made by some stakeholders, key people in the party, towards the campaign, one would have thought that the party was going to be broken after the election. A new trend was presented as. A new trend has given us some energy now. Okay? So for me, when you do things the same way, trust me, you never get different results. So for me to have had a flag bearer now elected, and now going back to the base to build it, and not going to revisit flag bearership again, which is a higher, if you like, election where stakes are high. We're not visiting that again. I can see this party mobilizing, building, reorganizing at the base like never before.
But so for you, there's no cause for concern, because the thing is, like, once the foundation, perhaps you haven't fixed it right and you go for the top.
No, the foundation is still there.
The foundation is still there.
If you listen to me earlier, I said that the current polling station executives
that would be in March.
Would end, their tenure would end in March. They were given 4-year mandate. And the question is whether they were in good standing to vote for a flag bearer of the party. Yes. Whether they have voted for a flag bearer, yes. That new flag bearer they have voted, is it going to want to take it into 2028? Yes. Now, when their time ends, we go back and simply reorganize on the ground and then do other elections. And then we are moving. That is why when you listen to the former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, he said, when we get back to reorganize our party, we should elect people who will be committed to assist the flag bearer into the 2028 election for us to get power again. And I can tell you, again, I'm repeating this, statistically, the NDC has no numbers than us nationwide. We do have better numbers than them. The only problem we had was that, look, we did not work well towards our people. Hence, apathy set in, and then we suffered a defeat.
And this way is one of the ways of fixing that.
Absolutely.
So it's like, now that you have the flag bearer, you can now the high tension, the high stakes is over, the pressure is off, and now we can do everything.
Very well.
Okay, I understand the point.
We are now all thinking towards 2028. So nobody's going to fight whoever. Let's calm down. Even if you become a party a party secretary at the constituency level, your aim is to help the flag bearer. We have a flag bearer put in place already. So I think that this novelty is presenting us with some energy. And I believe that we have done something different that is going to give us different results,
so
God willing.
Everybody knows what they are working towards.
Absolutely.
It's like the figurehead is there.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
I get a point, because when you read the
But let me add this as well. We have parliamentary candidates to also choose. That's also another very, strong area. If we don't manage it well, we're going to be having problems. And I believe that the party research base might be strongly strengthened. Every single constituency, we must know the dynamics. Every single electoral area, we should know the dynamics. Every single polling station, we should know the dynamics. Now, when we do this and put this on the table and get the right candidates put in place, our party says you either select or you let them elect. So party can decide that, look, Mr. J, go and represent this party here. If based on our research, we have the capacity to say that J is going to perform well, Nothing stops the party from doing that. And I believe elders will sit down, members of the council will sit down, of each member, we all sit down and look at it and see how we're going to iron some of these things out so that those rough edges will be put aside and this party will be formidable. And trust me, there's no party in Africa than the NPP and the ANC. Only 2 parties in Africa. Mark it.
So what do you have to say to those who have the concern that perhaps the former vice president, the flag bearer now, didn't win the previous election, and now that he's been re-elected as a flag bearer, what if the same results pertains in the 2028 elections?
I think people don't follow the trend of elections in this country at all.
You think so?
Even if we look at the results of yesterday, or the results of
Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Qualitatively, he has improved. And I choose my words well. Qualitatively, he has way improved. Greater Accra, for example, in 2023, when we did the presidential primaries, he won in only 19 constituencies. The Saturday election that ended, our flag bearer, people have reposed confidence in him to the extent that in Greater Accra, he won in 32 constituencies instead of 34, out of 34. Qualitatively, he has improved. When you go to Western region and other regions, in fact, when Volta region, for instance, people were saying that, look, he was going to what? Perform abysmally. Interestingly, he performed so well. Out of the votes in Volta region, he had about almost 4,000 something votes. Brian beat him with some...
Just a few?
Just a few. But they were projecting that Ken was going to... We've passed this anyway, but I'm trying to say that people or party people have reposed confidence in him. Again, this and the apathy thing we talked about, if we're able to work on that and party people come on board and repose confidence in him, we are setting off this election with about some 5 million votes. What we have to do is to work hard to get at least 3 million votes in addition and make him a president in 2028, which we can do.
Yeah, but you know, we've heard the explanations why we had to start at the top and then we now go to the polling station and everything. So for those who have the fear, perhaps the NPP, the things that didn't perhaps help them to stay in power, they didn't fix it, and now they are rather focusing on who the flag bearer should be. So for those who think it's just politics for you, what would you say to the normal Ghanaian, perhaps those who are the floating and everything, they're like, oh, the NPP is still focused on Ghanaians. It's like they know what they have to do aside the fact that they've elected their flag bearer. They will fix their issues and then come back strongly in 2028.
I think we're going round and round on this matter. I've just told you that we've identified some, and the key indicator is what he has identified. Again, you brought the bit of floating voters in there. Obviously, no party can win election in this country without a floating voter. Yes, what did we do wrong? What were our attitude? How are we relating towards people? Your businessmen, your supporters, what was the relationship? How did you have some people who you were talking to on phone? The next moment you got power and you forgot about them. All these things ought to be addressed. These are nitty-gritties of how to build a party. And I've always maintained that, look, you can live in flamboyance. You can live in whatever opulence. But remember, that can come and fight you when you're a politician. That is why I have always admonished that as a politician, live modestly. And I believe if our party would then, we're able to send this message throughout, and we're able to talk to each other, and of course, relate to people the way we have to relate. Trust me, our flag bearer already is a humble person. Our flag bearer already is a cut-out person in terms of his economics know-how. He's a cut-out person in terms of developing this country ideas. We all know that. Now, if such a person is out there, his competence is actually not in question. Therefore, if we also relate to the people properly, and then, of course, all these things that you have spoken about, we're able to put it together. Again, we have numbers than the NDC. The NDC will suffer.
So now that you have a flag bearer,
yeah,
come the 2028 elections, what's the NPP strategy?
I may not be able to sit down here, or I will not, even if I have all the strategies, I will not sit here to spew them out. There are some I would say, there's some I will not say for the consumption of the people. But I think that in every election strategy, we have what is within the back doors, and we have what will come in the open. I can tell you without any equivocation that the NPP is going to be stronger like never before in the 2028 coming election. We have time to work, and look, if it means meeting every single voter, we will do that. Yeah. So our strategies would actually, as we move on, will enroll, and you see how it goes.
I see that. So now we saw how the competition for flag bearer went. Yeah. So now that we have the flag bearer, when it comes to the running mate, do you foresee that kind of stiff competition with regard to that as well?
First of all, the party, the honors of choosing a running mate is largely on the flag bearer, one, who may present the names to the National Council, and National Council, with their wisdom, would accept it, and then, of course, the announcement will be done. We do not have a framework now as to when we're not pushed to say tomorrow we're going to have a running mate, or tomorrow next, or whatever. There are no timelines now. What is more important to me, and this is my personal view, not the party, though the party structure says that it emanates from the flag bearer and goes to the National Council. National Council will accept it, as it were, and then bring it out. But like I said, left to me, the flag bearer should concentrate strongly now in building the party. We should concentrate strongly in making sure the party is formidable. Running mate is not a contest. It's not going to be elected. Nobody's going to be elected. That's why I said it's going to be the flag bearer and the National Council who will choose who they want. And all this will happen after we do a proper research. Check it out and see which ticket should we present as a party that will help the party. And like I said, we're not going to be rushing on this matter. And I believe the flag bearer, though I'm not speaking for him anyway, but I believe the flag bearer's concern now will be how to build this party and put it right. We'll make sure we are okay, good to go, before we look at the timelines and get the ticket, the full ticket for the party.
What's the strategy for them as well?
Yeah, you cannot throw those demographics out of Ghanaian politics. Like I said, all will boil down to the research that your party is going to do internally. You see, where it tilts is where the party would have to tilt. Do we need a youthful person? Do we need a woman? Do we need someone from here? Do we need someone from there? All this will come out from the research that the party will perform, and from the research that the flag bearer, I believe, will commission people to do, because he's actually going to have somebody added to him. Okay? All this will come out later. Okay? And I believe as we go on, some of these things will come. I cannot jump the gun to say anything for now, but I believe that this party, like I said, if we put it together, get all our boots and knots put well, trust me, we are going to be good to go.
So do you foresee a situation where Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will become the first, should I say, Muslim president of the country?
Well, you see, this argument of Muslim or non-Muslim or whatever, for me, those people who are pushing it are ignorant. To be very honest with you, you can be a clergy person. If you push, you are ignorant. I've always maintained that, look, we as a country, since independence, we should be proud of ourselves. A secular country. You've never heard of Christian and Muslim fighting. In fact, in marriages, we have even Christian Muslims in this country. In families, we have Christian Muslims. We have lived beyond this pettiness. Coming to govern is not coming to lead as an imam. Coming to government is not coming to lead as a pastor. Coming to govern is not coming to lead as a confor. You are coming to govern and bring up policies that will inure to the benefit of you and I. What has religion got to do with it? We all agreed in 1992 and came and upheld our constitution, which says that whether your religion, your creed, your race, it doesn't matter. We should move on. We've accepted this. So those who come out, they are myopic. Honestly, with all respect, if you're a pastor and you're not preaching unity in a secular society, trust me, then you are not even a man of God, because God wants peace. If you are an imam, you are not preaching unity, then you are not a man of God, because Quran preaches peace, coexistence, peaceful. So this pettiness, we should go beyond it. So when you ask me whether a first Muslim president, I am concerned about the prowess of the person to bring out good policies, the competence of the person to handle Ghana, the competence of the person to ensure that security is top-notch. Jay is living peacefully, I am living peacefully. That is what I'm concerned. I'm not concerned about the religion of that person. I'm not concerned about it. Okay? Jay, I sit here, my very good friend, closest friend, who I share ideas with, discusses his own with me. I'm a Muslim. And that's my best friend. So that's the country we find ourselves in. So first and foremost, when I hear those people talking about Muslim, Christians, and whatever, trust me, I see them to be very low-minded. They're very weak in thinking. They don't love this country. So we should go above it. Who knows how many politicians go to church? How many of them go to church? Even the name I'm a Christian, how many of them go to church? How many politicians go to the mosque? So you want to come and use people, camouflage people, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, and then you move on, and you are doing what is not un-Christian, and you are doing what is un-Muslim or un-Islam? Look, I think that this country has had some 30-something years democracy. We have held on to each other. People envy us in other countries. We live together. Look, you'll be surprised I have another best friend who is an NDC. You don't know. Yeah. Mutala of blessed memory. May Allah have mercy on him. Amen. Was my close pal. I'm NPP. We talk. The day they won election, early morning, the following day, 8 o'clock, 8 a.m., I was there. Mutala called me. He said, Kamal, you have a brother in government. Don't think you are alone. This is what he said. Superior policy argument. Let the people choose who they want and stop this Muslim president, Christian president, and Christian whatever has done what and what. No Christian, John Mahama is not building churches for Christians. Is he doing that? Or is he going to say that the offering that I was giving in church, because I'm now president, I'm going to pay more offering? No. We're not thinking about that. So I think that just as we have religion, let us have our time to do our religion and our time to do politics for the development of this country.
I'm glad with the way you answered that question, because you understood the angle I was coming from. Because it's like a lot of sentiment out there. It's like that public perception, like that, like you said, like myopic perception that like, oh, once he's this, he can't be this.
Very myopic.
Because in Ghana, we've always had this. So I understood. Thank you for understanding the question and answering it in the man. Yeah, so we have our flag bearer now. You said a number of things. We have to leave the studio soon. But just before we go, just before I ask the final question, do you think there'll be a strategy review when it comes in terms of your policies? For instance, a lot of people were complaining about the one district, one factory that didn't really take off back in the day. Maybe that's what also affected you, the voter apathy and all. Do you think there'll be something like the policy review?
Yes, I've observed government upon government since the inception of the Fourth Republican Constitution. From 1992, the NDC came to power and they gave policies, what they will do and what they will not do. At the end of the day, when you take their manifesto and then judge them based on that manifesto, they will not attain 100%. When NPP came, you take our manifesto, in the first term, we may not attain 100%, but we will do our best. Now, if you ask the question, fast forward to where we are, if we said 1D, 1F, and for you, it is not, sometimes policies come for you to look at them again, review them. Where did you go short? You put things right. But see, let me make this argument, and I want NDC to come out and tell us. We have voted for you based on you telling us that you're going to make sure our economy becomes a 24-hour economy, and that there will be Formula 133. One job, J, your job, for instance, there should have been 3 people here. That after J, there will be 24 hours. Another person will come doing the same thing. That was the argument. To the extent that they were using Pudong in China as example, some of their communicators. Okay? All manner of things. Ask yourself, 1 year after, what have they done? 0.
Well, I know of a few places.
24-hour economy?
Yeah, where they start.
PR is running a job, 3 people?
No,
please, I am going to check it.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you that clearly they have not done it. It's not there.
He was here.
They are saying the policy is still on the table. The man who has been appointed at the presidency to see to it has not come up pragmatically to tell us we have instituted this. Okay. Their majority leader in parliament, Mama Yerga, is telling you there's nothing like 24-hour economy. So did you deceive Ghanaians? Did you lie to us? You told us in 2025 budget that you're going to build 50 chips compounds. 2025 budget, trust me, even one was not built. When they asked the government communication person, Felix Ofosukwati, he was there whining, talking about primary health care. So I'm telling you that the people lied their way to power, and they have come to sit here, lie to people. They're saying the free SHS was not good. Today, they are even adding more budget to free SHS. STEM, the NPP work we did, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, we thought about it. And young people in this country must do it. One of the best. People are quiet. What have they done about STEM? So I am saying that, look, they should stop this propaganda, the PR. And then we come back. So when you ask me whether we're going to review our policy, if we are going to look at policy-wise, how we think. Look, Ghana card, when we're bringing Ghana card, the NDC went against it and said we will not use Ghana card at all. Today, you see, when we kept gold, before we left, our gold reserve was around 30.3 tons at the Bank of Ghana. Today, and you bring these people, and then they are lying.
Kamaldeen Abdullahi, Deputy National Communications Director for the NPP, was quite an enlightening conversation. There's more on GTV Breakfast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you very much for having me too.
Thank you.
Yeah.